mean, in theory, I can understand why rent control sounds like a good thing. But rent control is not the right solution. With rent control, we are likely to see a dramatic reduction in the construction of new rental units because investors have better, safer investment options.
They put forward 4 issues. One is that if you establish rent stabilization or rent control, that nobody's going to build here anymore. Well, there was ample evidence across the country provided by very authoritative, credible organizations. They all said, look, in places where you have high demand and long-standing renter populations like Washington, D.C., and New York and New Jersey and other places, they have some of the strongest rental markets in the world. Washington, D.C. is the number 2 in terms of new housing development. And they have rent stabilization. So really, one thing has nothing to do with the other. Where there is high demand for housing, you have high value in housing, and that means it's going to be profitable.
Property taxes represent more than 26% of county revenue, and we could be talking about many millions of dollars in reduction. That money is used to provide services.
The idea that you have to have rent gouging, that is raising rents above a reasonable rate, in order to pay for social services for people who are going to be made homeless or put in healthcare situations because they're suffering anxiety or facing homelessness or housing instability, or paying for children who are moving from school to school and not able to keep up with their academic program, and so on, is sort of an outrage.
Rent control creates additional risk and constrains the potential return on investment for building new rental units in a way that other investments will not. This is to say that with rent control, we are likely to see a dramatic reduction in the construction of new rental units because investors have better, safer investment options.
The investment will continue. As I say, demand is high. It is a very profitable investment in this region because you've got a lot of customers. And customers with good paying jobs in the DC area or New York area or other, are able to pay higher rents that we have in this area, which means for a higher profit margin overall. And so when there's money to be made, people will stay around to make that money.
Rent control will bring us higher turnover as property owners have an incentive not to renew leases, a reduction in property tax revenue that will likely lead to reductions in services, a dramatic reduction in new rental units, which will drive market prices higher.
We like there to be a market where private entrepreneurs can work in that market, but we say it has to be balanced with the public interest of stable, affordable, quality housing. Too much else rests on the ability of the landlord to provide stable, affordable, quality housing. And if we abandon that responsibility, all of us will pay costs. We have to remember that we are seeing all kinds of problems around our county, social problems that would be addressed significantly if this huge number of people knew that their homes were stable.
The best way to combat the increase in housing costs is to continue to foster new investment, approve new housing units to be built, and ensure that at least 15% of those new units are affordable. As always, it is our goal to help our residents in our community in the most efficient ways possible. There are many, many better ways to do this, and that's where our focus should be.